Hey guys, Super Rugby Pacific Round 9 is coming up this weekend. The team sheets are out today. I've taken a look to see which players are in, which players are out, and I'll be making some predictions about how I think these games will play out and what the final scores will be. Coming up first, we have the Hurricanes at home versus the Crusaders. Currently no rain expected for this game. It should be decent conditions. And the Canes, they're pretty much unchanged after last week's close loss to the Blues. Jacob Devery's out, Raymond Tupatupu has come in. The big news for the Canes, it's not really news, but it's the fact that Riley Hohepa continues to start at 10 for them. Did kind of struggle last week in that loss to the Blues, and after that game, Coach Laidlaw, he did kind of hint that maybe Ruben Love would come in as 10 going forward. That has not happened. He has stuck with his man Hohepa, and Callum Harkin, he's on the bench as well, was on the bench last week. This is a guy who can play 10 as well, but no, he's sticking with his man. Hopefully they've worked something out over the week, because yeah, he is the weak spot in a team that is pretty much back to full strength. Once they get back Billy Proctor, this Hurricanes team, they're full strength, so they don't have any excuses here. And for the Crusaders, we do actually have a few changes. Davey Havili, he is back, had a bit of an Achilles niggle, but he's back now. Scott Barrett and Tamaiti Williams as well. They were rested last week against the Ndrua. Now they are returning. Ioane Moananu, he gets a start as well. Cody Taylor is out. And the other big change is Sevu Reece. Last week he did start at 13. Now he's actually at 11 for this game. Normally plays 14, but Shea Fihaki there, he's at 11 for this game. Apart from that, McLeod's out as well. But otherwise, yeah, pretty strong lineup. And as for how this game's gonna go, it will be a battle. These teams, they had a kind of close game in round 1, or at least it was a very high scoring game, but I mean, that feels like an age ago now. These teams, a lot has changed. The Hurricanes, they started the year with a lot of injuries. They got a lot of guys back, like I was saying before. Same was true of the Crusaders as well. They started with a lot of guys back, but yeah, they've come back a few rounds into the season, and Crusaders, they've kind of gone from strength to strength. They've been building. The Canes, otherwise, they've kind of been stumbling along a bit, haven't done as well. And yeah, apart from that shock loss to Moana, the Crusaders, I mean, they were looking like they were up there with the Chiefs as one of the top 2 teams in this competition. So yeah, pretty big win for the Ndrua for them last week. So is it back to business as usual for the Crusaders? I'm not sure, to be honest. And with the Hurricanes, yeah, still kind of struggling against the Blues without getting all their guys back. I think it will be close despite being in Wellington, a home game for the Canes. So I think I might actually tip this one to the Crusaders, but not a lot in it, less than 5 points. Next up on the Friday night, we have the Waratahs at home in Sydney versus the Chiefs. Low chance of a shower currently expected for this game, so small chance of moisture there, but should be pretty decent otherwise. And changes for this game, there's a bit of shuffling around in the Chiefs. DMAC has gone back to 15 after starting at 10 for the last game. That moves Sean Stevenson out to 14. Rampling has got a starting berth, pushing Rona back to the bench. Jacob, he gets the start at 10 as he normally does when DMAC's at the back. Taukiaho, he's been back for a while, but he hasn't been getting a lot of starts. He does get the go-ahead for this game. And otherwise, yeah, this Chiefs pack and this Chiefs lineup looks like it's pretty much full strength. Whereas for the Waratahs, not a lot of changes from last week, just a bit of shuffling around. Charlie Gamble is gone. He's replaced by Jamie Adamson. Still no Dave Porricky back for the Waratahs. They have Dobbins and Julian Heaven, and yeah, they're really missing Porricky. It's kind of, their lineout has been a problem ever since he got injured, and yeah, I think that's something that might continue to really plague them in this game as well. And even though this game is in Sydney, the Waratahs, they have put up some decent performances in Sydney like they did against the Brumbies a few weeks ago. But yeah, this Tars team is still kind of weak, and this Chiefs lineup, like, they're really not holding much back at all, to be honest. Even this bench is really strong. So yeah, really hard to go past the Chiefs in this one, and if the conditions stay good, I think they're really going to put some points on here, and I'm going to pick the Chiefs by 16 points. Next up on Saturday afternoon, we have the Blues at home at Eden Park versus the Moana Pacifica. Blues, this team looks pretty similar to last week's team that took down the Hurricanes. Probably the big thing to note here is that Ricky Riccatelli, he's on the bench last week after coming back from injury, and now he gets a start. And yeah, the Blues, they really missed him and Eklund as well. When they were down to their third and fourth stringer, their lineouts really caused them a lot of problems and was a big contributing factor in them getting demolished by the Crusaders at Eden Park. But both of them are back now. That's a big boon. The other big news here as well is that Tofa Funaki and Harry Plummer, they are back in the 23, albeit on the bench, but that's some good reinforcement for the Blues, who have tended to struggle in the second half in a lot of their matches. So yeah, really bulking out their bench a bit here. Otherwise though, still a very strong starting team. Corey Evans continues at 15 despite Perifetta being fit like he was last week. And for the Pacifica, probably the biggest news here is that Miracle Failangi is back. He did not play last week against the Waratahs. And yeah, this back row looks pretty scary now. Other than that, the big news is probably Jackson Garden-Bishop. He gets promoted to a start. Haven't seen him for a while. Ever since Pellegrini came off the bench in that Highlanders game, this team hasn't looked back. But no, Pellegrini, he goes to the bench this week, and yeah, I think this really could affect Moana's performance this week, because honestly, Garden-Bishop, he was not looking that good at the start of this season. He was looking very slow, and Pellegrini, he was honestly a revelation. He really turned this team around. I feel like alongside him in the halves, we have another guy, Melanie Matavao. I don't know a lot about him, but he is a name I have not seen before this year. So yeah, we have major changes in the halves here for Pacifica, and I feel like that might sort of define how this match goes for Pacifica as well. As for how the game's going to play out, I mean, to be honest, even though Moana have been getting some good results, I'm not entirely convinced by their transformation. I think they still have a lot of work to do. They still do tend to concede a lot of points, even in the games where they do really well. And yeah, that's something that you need to sort out, because it is just gonna cost you games. And look, the Blues, they have a really strong lineup this week. I mean, this back line is no joke. Bowden Barrett, he is back. He is dangerous. So yeah, the Blues are going to score points this game. And when Moana have looked good, it's been up front. Like they've been able to get some real purchase up front. But that's something that's hard to do against the Blues. As much as the Blues are struggling, their defense is still very strong, and their pack is still quite scary. So yeah, I don't know if Moana will get the purchase there that they really want to take control of games. So yeah, I am going to back the Blues in this one, but I don't mind being wrong, to be honest. If Moana carry on and keep getting the results, I mean, that's fantastic for the competition. I'd love to see it, but yeah, I think the Blues will be good this game. I think they'll put some points on them, and I think they could win by maybe up to 15 points. Moving on to the Saturday night, we have the Highlanders playing at home versus the Androa. Under the cover, conditions will be perfect. And for the Highlanders, some really big news this week. Jacob Ratumaitavuki-Neepkins, he is back. I believe he hasn't played all year. Maybe he played in round 1, but yeah, he has been out for a long time. And look, he's an important player for them. He's really dangerous. He was a revelation last year after moving down there from the Blues. The other big news as well, Cameron Miller, he gets a start in the number 10 slot. He's another guy who looked really good for the Highlanders last year, and people have sort of been wondering, where is he? Apparently he's been fit, but he's just been playing in club rugby. I don't know if that's true. That's just what I heard, but yeah, definitely a big major change. Alongside him in the halves is another name we haven't seen for a while, Folau Fakatava. And yeah, I've been a big fan of Hasty and how he's been playing at the Highlanders, especially for a new guy. But yeah, it's great to see Fakatava back. He really brings that sniping threat around the ruck, and yeah, that'll just add another string to the Highlanders' bow. Next to him in the lineup as well, Hugh Renton is also back. The Highlanders number 8. He's really important to them. He adds a lot of muscle to the pack, and yeah, really think his return is a massive boon. There are a few losses though. Mitch Dunshea is out, TK Howden is out, and in the backs as well, Caleb Tangatau, he is missing. He did go off at halftime last week against the Force, so I'm guessing that's when he picked up a niggle. And instead we have Taniela Filimone, a guy I don't think I've seen play this year, so could be a debut here. Beyond that, Henry Bales at hooker, Sione Vikena is out. Not sure if he's injured or what, but he seems to be out of the 23 altogether. And also Withy as well. He ended up getting a 2-week suspension after getting that red card last week against the Force, so bit of a blow there, but with Hugh Renton coming back, probably still better off overall, the Highlanders. And for the Androa, probably the big thing is that Kanaveri is out, Dolakoto gets the start. Yeah, the Androa lineout really got picked apart by the Crusaders last week, so that could be another area where the Highlanders try to target, or at least they should. Another interesting thing here, Caleb Muntz is starting, but he's actually starting at 15. Armstrong Ravula gets the go-ahead at 10, and I do prefer Armstrong Ravula at 10, to be honest. I feel like he is better for the team overall. Karawa Levu just seems to be going from the 23 altogether. Not sure if he's injured or what. And as for how this game's gonna go, I mean, this is probably the two most sort of erratic teams in the competition, especially in the Androa. You never really know how things are going to go for them, and both teams are kind of struggling, but the Highlanders being at home, under the cover, got to lean towards them, and the Androa, historically they've always played really terribly away from home. This year I thought they've been a little bit better, but no, we've seen some shocking losses from them on the road as well, like that huge loss to the Force. So again, they're just erratic, right? They're unpredictable, but because of that, it's really kind of hard to back them. And yeah, I'm gonna give it to the Highlanders. As for the score though, that's the hard thing to pick, because I feel like it'll be kind of an entertaining game, because the Highlanders, they're quite an opportunist team, right? They really strike off that turnover ball. They can't put much together from structured play, but yeah, when they get the turnovers, they're off and they thrive off that. And the Androa, they're also the kind of team that really turns over the ball a lot as well. So they could be handing the Highlanders a lot of opportunities, and yeah, Highlanders could get points off the back of that, but the Drua, they're dangerous themselves as well. So yeah, I'll give it to the Highlanders, and I'll say by 10 points. And lastly, on the Saturday night, last game of the round, we kind of saved the best for last here. I mean, this is a really juicy matchup. The Reds at home at Suncorp against the Brumbies. And this will be the battle to sort of decide who the best team in Australia really is. Looking at the lineups, probably the big news here is that Harry Wilson is out, and it's actually a long-term injury. He's out for several weeks, which is a huge blow to them because he's been not just one of their best players, but one of the better players in the entire competition. Also, Filippo Dalgunu seems to be missing from the back line, not even on the bench, so probably he's picked up an injury as well, and that's a real blow for them because he is a really handy player. He's not just a strike weapon, but he has some smarts as well. He can pick up some of the slack in the kicking game. He can do a lot of things around the park, not just attack with the ball in hand. So Tom Liner, he gets the start this week ahead of McLaughlin Phillips. And interestingly, Jock Campbell, he was on the bench last week. He continues on the bench this week as well. I thought he might get promoted to the start this week. I mean, Jeremiah Murray, you know, he's had his moments, but he's had some down moments as well. So yeah, I thought they might be looking to rush Campbell back in. We know how good he is, but that has not happened. And on the Brumbies side of the equation, well, they had to bye last week, so we can't talk about what's changed from last week, but otherwise it's a very strong team. Interestingly, Valentini, he's gone to 6. Tom Hooper's moved into his natural position in the locks. Charlie Cale, he's still out. He's been out for some weeks now. Taitua Lima has come in. So yeah, outside of the back row though, everything else looks pretty much the same for the Brumbies and looks pretty much full strength as well. So yeah, they're going into this match well rested and fully charged up, while the Reds are carrying a few injuries. And as for how the match is gonna play out, I think it's gonna be a real arm wrestle, honestly, just a big arm wrestle up front. And both teams like to play this way, but the Brumbies especially so. They're very, very patient. They will just keep grinding away. They don't care. They will wait until they grind you down a bit, and then they'll move the ball. And that back three that they've got, all dangerous players, very well balanced. They will strike with them, and that's when they get their points. But the Reds, look, they're playing at home. They are at Suncorp. They got a lot of players this game, getting their 50th games, their 100th, and yeah, I think they're going to be really fired up for it. I think this game's just, it's going to be super close, whatever way you look at it. And the other thing to note as well, I think at the moment there is high chance of some moisture there, not necessarily pouring rain, but you know, a lot of showers, so it could be quite wet, which again will just concentrate it even more into a forwards battle and probably a lower scoring affair. So I'm going to side with the Reds just because they are at home. But yeah, it's going to be super close. I wouldn't be surprised if the Brumbies were able to edge it, but I'm going to say Reds by 3 points. Anyway, guys, that'll do it for this round's preview. A lot of cool games coming up this week, either really close games or matches that are probably going to be quite entertaining. So really looking forward to this weekend. Don't forget, if you are playing Fantasy Super Rugby, my best picks video will be coming out shortly after this one. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one.